you just say. Okay. No, I'll tell you.
All right.
Well, this sucks.
Hello, hello. This one's on. Hello.
I believe we are live. We're good? Thank you, Thomas. Good afternoon. I would like to open our meeting today of the East Region Town Hall for District 3, other known as Earth. You're telling me up, I have no control of that. And we are at the Moose Lodge at 15900 Moose Lodge Lane, Clear Lake Oaks, 95423. We will call to order this meeting, and we'll do roll call. I believe we are only missing Pamela Kaczynski. Sorry. All other members are present. We will move on to public input. This is for any citizen within our jurisdiction area that has a concern they'd like to bring to us. During this time, we are not allowed to talk back and forth to you. This is for you to communicate with us, and then at the end, if we would like to pick that item up, we will talk with you, speak with you, and possibly see what we can do to mend things or fix things of your concern or get them on an agenda if needed. You will have 3 minutes to speak at the podium. So when you do have public comment, if you could please state your name and where you live. So I'll open public comment. I see my first person at the podium.
Hi, my name's Jim Beal. I'm a resident of Lake Village Estates in Clear Lake Oaks. And a group of us have been here for the last couple of meetings, so we're just following up on what we've been working on. We've been voicing concerns about an out-of-county property management corporation that has taken over privately owned mobile home park. We've heard complaints about being arbitrarily charged for management costs, of doing business, being treated rudely or unfairly, of being deceived, and so forth. There are state laws regulating these situations, but they're often vague, inadequate, and wrought with loopholes. For example, property managers can sidestep rent caps by imposing additional charges on tenants for just about anything they want to dream up, including normal maintenance projects, even the cost to upgrade their own offices. These are called pass-through charges, and they're justified, and we use that term loosely, with the argument that they improve their tenants' home values. So imagine someone who maintains their lawn and keeps their home nicely painted, sending out bills to their neighbors for improving the looks of the community and demanding compensation for enhancing their property values. That's the situation we find ourselves in. I want to make it clear, though, that it's not to single out or villainize any landlord or real estate management operation, some of which we have the noblest of intentions. The one alluded to might modify its approach and prove fair in the long run, but we simply want to protect residents, especially the elderly, on modest fixed incomes from being displaced by exploitive entities of any kind. We therefore ask Lake County to look into and enact a fair rent stabilization ordinance, as several other California regions have. Our focus is on senior manufactured home parks where tenants own their homes and rent lot spaces, but we also see the need for a broader rent stabilization and welcome participation from all concerned. We've also written up a rationale for this that's more detailed, and I would like to, if it's possible, to submit that as part of the minutes. Is that okay?
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi, you probably can't hear me too clearly because the air conditioner's on and there's a lot of feedback, so hopefully you can. My name is Gail Delane. I'm also from Lake Village Estates, and we just wanted to thank you for all your support, especially Holly. And we wanted to kind of make sure that people know a little bit more about the mobile home parks. The homes are not mobile, they're manufactured homes that happen to be in parks where we pay space rent for the spaces that our homes sit on. And we just wanted to clarify what the landowner pays or does versus what the homeowner pays. The landowner owns the mobile park, determines how much the monthly space rent will be, determines how much yearly increases will be, and can pass through charges to us, the homeowners, for things that they determine that they want to do. The mobile home park residency law of the state of California says that they can pass as many charges through as they'd like, really. There's no cap on that. We want to make sure that people understand that as homeowners, and we're in a senior park, so most of us are on a fixed income. The homeowners pay the space rent. Currently, our space rent for most of the people in the park is $450 per month, because many of us were there previous to the takeover of a company recently. But the space rent can go up as high as $650 for people who are moving into the park. So we pay the space rent. We pay 2 pass-through charges currently. They come monthly with our space rent bill. But we also pay a mortgage if you have a mortgage on your home, if you haven't bought it cash. We pay our water bill, our sewer bill, our taxes. We pay for the maintenance of our own landscape on our space. We pay PG&E, we pay our gas, we pay trash to Lake County Waste Solutions, and we pay for all the updates and improvements and repairs to our homes. So we just want people to know that we're not idly complaining because our space rent is going up. That's just one part of what we're responsible for monthly. Okay, so I would say that though California has a statewide rent control law, several local ordinances have been passed throughout our state to address the unique housing needs of renters' rights and issues in respective areas. The ongoing trend for corporate management firms to buy up privately owned mobile home parks is especially disturbing since it has a national
sorry.
track record.
I don't mean to cut you off, but that's the 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you so
sorry.
much.
Stop.
Thank you.
Sorry. How do you stop this thing? I don't know how to
Pause or
stop it.
cancel.
I did cancel, but it's not working.
Right up here?
Isn't that exciting? I don't even know how to use a timer. Okay, sorry about that.
Okay, hi, my name is Sterling Wellman, and I live in the Spring Valley subdivision. I'm here to bring a concern to you guys about the only way in and the only way out. If you watch the news right now, you see North Carolina, the devastation that's going on there. You've all seen the devastation that happened to Paradise. And Spring Valley only has one way in and one way out. I am here because the county has not brought it up. We've brought it up in our CSA 2 meetings. We need to have a bridge put in. We need a bridge put in over the old Long Valley Road, so you have another way in and another way out. If something ever happened, say like in North Carolina, you're gonna have thousands of people dead. When everybody tries to go evacuate because the dam, we all know the dam is faulty. The property owner in front of it won't let people fix it, so we already have a faulty dam. Say we get 30 inches of rain like North Carolina, that dam gives way, you're gonna have us all like cattle trying to go out and completely out of dead stop because you can't go around people. There's only one way, and everybody in their cars in that valley are going to die in their cars. Just like if we were to try to leave like Paradise, you're gonna have huge catastrophic deaths out there, and property will be wiped out. So I'm really hoping that one of you guys up there are part of the people that can get this going, and let's start looking at some grants. There is the Build Back Better plan that you guys can look into to see if you can get a grant to get the bridge in there, because it is an emergency. Our lives are at stake that live in the valley, and I hope that you guys understand that and hear it, and maybe something can be done about it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment?
No, she's in the office.
Is there a public comment?
She's got other business she'll take care of.
Okay. Okay, seeing no one else, I will close public comment.
Anybody in the Zoom room? Did we?
Making a motion to approve the minutes?
Okay. May I get a second? Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 5, guest speaker. And I don't want to mess this up. John Spetka? Speaka, okay. Well, thank you. Senior Transportation Planner, Lake Area Planning Council, Dow and Associates. They're seeking public input through a survey ending October 31st. Got a month, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Would be best to talk into the mic back
Ooh,
there.
that's a
You know, there's
terrible one.
different rules all the time. Just take a mic and I would just talk. You're supposed, usually you talk to us, but the audience is, everybody gets it, whichever way you want. We'll still listen.
Okay, thank you. Again, my name's John Speaka, and I'm with the Lake Area Planning Council. I'll explain what that is in a second here.
There you go.
I'm here to kind of spread the word about a project that we have a grant for, is to develop a Lake County wildfire evacuation and preparedness plan. And what we are set out to do is try to coordinate with all the emergency officials and fire districts and all that of the region to all be on the same page whenever there's the next emergency. Unfortunately, there's been a string of them over the last 10 years. And every time there's sort of it's not a mad scramble. I mean, obviously there's people there and there's some kind of continuity, but what we'd like to do through this effort is to put it into one plan. And if there is turnover at any of these agencies, then there will be a reference book to kind of go back and say, okay, well, who do we contact? Is Lake Transit Authority work with OES, or how does that all work? And that's sort of the gist of what we're doing. Now, this isn't going to work on me. Well, it worked a second ago, of course. Welcome to the movie. Excuse the delay here. Oh, that's no good. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, again, I'm with the Lake Area Planning Council, and what we are is we're the Regional Transportation Planning Agency for the Lake County region. These are set up all across California. The Regional Transportation Planning Agency obviously deals with transportation issues for the region. We're also a council of governments. You might have heard of those. Those are spread out across the state as well. For instance, in Mendocino County, there's Mendocino Council of Governments, that referred to as COGS sometimes. We are APC. In any case, our board is made up of the jurisdictions in the region that we work with. So there's basically the county and the 2 cities. So we have 2 county supervisors on our board. There's 2 council people from both Lakeport and Clear Lake, and there's 2 at-large members. And again, they deal with kind of regional transportation issues. So obviously there's specific transportation issues that any one of a given jurisdiction might work with, but these kind of, excuse me, got a friend here. Obviously, there's certain projects that kind of go beyond a boundary and they kind of affect the region. For instance, the State Route 29 project we've been working with Caltrans on to get quite a few dollars, several tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars to get this project through, but obviously not the regional one, and that's sort of, we work with Caltrans a lot to get funding in. Our primary duties are to assist the local agencies and secure funding for these transportation projects. Now, when I say transportation, obviously roads and streets and highways are an important part of it, but it also includes transit. It includes aviation, for what that's worth. There's one airport in the county. But there's tribal transportation, and there's several kind of different areas we focus on. But it's every mode of transportation, including active transportation, which is sidewalks and bike lanes, and any way to get from point A to point B, and that's sort of our realm. And we work on a couple of, again, we work with Caltrans, and we work with some of our other roles are to administer a call box program for the county for when you're stuck without a cell phone and there's those yellow boxes, we deal with that as well. So again, the wildfire evacuation and preparedness plan. The plan is set out to help agency officials coordinate evacuation efforts, again, standardizing sort of protocols for wildfire events. And I kind of explained just a second ago, but what we're trying to do is to get everyone on the same page and kind of one document that kind of sort of a go-to book. And then lastly and importantly is to inform community members of the best practices and procedures for future emergencies. So this is kind of like, what kind of resources we use, where the evacuation centers might be set up. Those are going to be different for every fire event, unfortunately, so it's not just one or two that we could point to, but we're going to have a sort of a process in place that you could kind of get this information. Somebody just mentioned Spring Valley. Obviously, that's a one-way in, one-way out, and that's one of the types of things that we're looking at, because evacuation from wildfires is sometimes you're blocked from getting out. So we are looking at potential alternative routes as part of the plan and potential funding sources to implement some of those projects. Those types of projects are often expensive, and it will have to come through the county public works department as it's their jurisdiction, either them or if it happens to be on state right-of-way for the highways, and we'll be working with Caltrans. So where we're at is we're coordinating with we work with we have a consultant on board. It's called the Resiliency Initiative. They have a public outreach component right now that we have surveys going out, and we're trying to get as much feedback as we can from community members to see where the concerns are, what the focus should be. They've already talked to folks like emergency services, fire protection districts, Lake Transit Authority, and they're still collecting the data, looking at all the existing plans that might be out there, whether they're the general plan or the, for the cities or the county or any other transportation plans that deal with the evacuation. Again, the public outreach, we have surveys. I have a handout I could give out. Unfortunately, I have a limited number. But we have about 20 of these. It's a QR code, so you scan your phone over it, and you can take us. Feel free to, get in touch with me. Yes.
Can we get one hard copy from you? Are we allowed to make copies of those one hard copy to pass out to our community?
Certainly. And in fact, and if you are able to get one of the flyers, it's a QR code, and that's sort of an easy way if you could just kind of get that onto your phone or whatnot. And on Lakeport on the 24th. There's going to be a virtual workshop the following week. I think it's October 30th. You could find that information by going to our website, or you could show up for these if you want to provide more input. The consultant will be here for those workshops, and they'll be explaining the project in a lot more depth, and you could provide feedback there. So next steps, take the survey, attend the engagement workshops, and basically, we have a web page that you could follow the development of the plan. Towards the end, we'll have a draft together, and we'll have a second set of workshops that folks could have a chance to look at the plan and then kind of give us some feedback towards the back end before it gets finalized and adopted. And short and sweet, but that was sort of my spiel. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer some. Yes?
I've always thought the idea of an organized, centralized food brigade, in other words, a big compound of goods that could be used, taken out, to various areas to eat some of the reasons that cause all the wildfires. If we can get rid of the fuel, then the wildfires won't be that much of a problem. It seems like a no-brainer way to, have goat tenders and goats out of various places, and if it's not sticking on public land, it's somebody's private land, they could charge for the clearing, but
Yeah, I mean, that would be a great suggestion that we could kind of add to our, yeah, that's one of many ideas. That'd be great. Any other questions at this point? Yes?
So when you're talking about Spring Valley, we have to be public works. So who would we contact about the bridge? Do we contact you guys, or do we have to contact public
Well,
works about getting it started?
it would be Public Works because we're a regional planning agency, so we're sort of an umbrella over the region, and we work with the Public Works agencies of the region. But we have no jurisdiction, so it's the public, the county obviously is your jurisdiction, and the Public Works agency from the county would have to initiate. And we could work with them to get grants, or, I mean, that's sort of our job, and we're not, there's the federal, there's the state, which is Caltrans, and then we're sort of the next level down that try to get the funding to come to this area, and then beneath that is the 3 jurisdictions, and Caltrans being a 4th one because they have some right-of-way here too. So we can work and partner with the county, we often do, to try to. Correct. Probably grant money. I mean, the unfortunate situation is there's just not a lot of funding for the county or the cities, and often they have to go for grants. And some of those are, they're discretionary, so you got to put your best foot forward. Nothing happens overnight, so if you do get the grant money, then you got to do planning and environmental and stuff. So it's always a process for sure, but you got to start somewhere. So here's my contact information. I do have some flyers, and I will leave them out for folks to pick up, and I will leave a stack of my business cards if anyone wanted to get in touch with me. I didn't mean to cut anyone off. If there's any more questions, I'd be happy to try to answer.
And we just need to see if there's anyone on Zoom that would like to have a question. Thank you. Okay.
All right.
No other questions? Thank
Great.
you.
All right, thank you.
Very much.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate that.
Of course, anytime. And we are active, yes. Moving on to item number 6, general plan and shoreline area plan update. Holly?
Can you hear? I can't hear over there, that's why I'm wondering. Can you hear it all? No? Okay, I'll try to yell. In terms of the shoreline area plan, which is the plan that covers our community, members of the Shoreline Area Plan Committee met with Community Development in a Zoom meeting and compiled with plans to distribute the results in 2 weeks. CDD will start scheduling Zoom meetings for the area plans in mid-October and hopes to have everything completed in mid-November. All the Zoom meetings will be open to the public. Going to be one large in-person meeting with all committees to discuss area plan boundaries. And as we said before, E.R.T.H has sent in a letter requesting that Clear Lake Oaks be separated out from Lucerne. So that's one of the things that will be discussed. This is still unscheduled. Upcoming topics that we know of include the area plan boundaries and zoning issues, how we're going to have each of our parcels around here zoned. Our local Clear Lake Oaks committee, which consists of me, Angela, Maria, and Robert Geary, have met a couple of times earlier just to get started on it. Amanda Collins, who was the other member, has resigned, so right now they're looking for a fifth person to get, I think from this area, to get onto the shoreline area plan, and they're accepting applications from the Board of Supervisors this week because they're going to pick next week. So if anybody wants to apply for it, go online. That's basically it for both of those.
Thank you. Item number 7, commercial cannabis report and cannabis ordinance task force update.
Okay, on cannabis projects in this area, twice we requested an update for October, but we have not heard anything back, so I don't know if anything different has occurred. But this past month, we did make a public records inquiry for a copy of all the required annual reports, annual inspection reports, and initial summary response reports on the 4 large projects that are in this area. Basically, we were concerned that some of the conditions of use that the Planning Commission requires the projects to follow are not being followed by the permittee, and community development is not checking on them. So of the 4 conditions of use before beginning cultivation, 2 of the 4 had submitted their annual reports on time. The other 2 submitted them later after community development contacted them. All 4 had violations, ranging from very minor, such as no address posted, to more severe, such as water meters not working, so they aren't recording the amount of water they're using. Some have been rectified, and some CDD is attempting to work with the permittees. While all the annual reports are supposed to be reviewed by the Planning Commission, to date, none of them have been reviewed. And it appears no one is ascertaining whether the conditions of use for the permit have been met in the north and the south to protect the view. This was supposed to have taken place 2 years ago. When we questioned community development this past month, they find 2 years in screening growth. There's probably a lot more things that are going on there, and I suggest that E.R.T.H get a bit more involved in this and finding out what conditions are being met and what aren't. Basically, in terms of the Cannabis Task Force, there was 1 meeting in the past month. The last 2 meetings focused on odor and generators. Now, Supervisors Green and Simon are both leaving at the end of this year, and so they requested that community development have the ordinance done before they leave. As there's only 6 meetings left for the year, Maria is thinking of coming up with a key issues recommendation that could go to the Board of Supervisors, the Planning Commission, and the Ag Committee before then. To streamline the process, she's having staff prepare a list of state regulations that the task force can decide if they want to use as is or change discuss. To this date, which has been over 2 years, we still have not discussed most of the public issues, and it doesn't look like they will be addressed before recommendations are made to the board. Though the upcoming meetings will look at generators, state regulations, and the exclusion zones, which are important. I think I mentioned last time that we have an exclusion zone for prime farmlands, which are supposed to be kept for growing food, and the Cannabis Alliance is trying to have that removed. They would like to grow there. So these are things that we really need to watch over. Any questions?
No, thank you. Your updates are always very thorough. Tony, your item number 8, Spring Valley update?
Where's, this one's not working. That's all right. Where's? This one?
Nope, it's not either.
Are we on, Thomas? I'm on.
On the water thing.
This one works. Here.
She's coming. She's going to do it. So the water situation that we had, which everybody was terrified because so many people like myself are, we have one income.
You want me to?
And we're retired, a lot of retirees up there, and so this has been a problem because they wanted to raise the rates on the water fast in a short amount of time, so, and reduce the amount of water being used. But she has the details. We've been fighting it, getting signatures, doing all that stuff, and I guess they made a mistake or something the other day, and we're on hold, so, go ahead.
So special districts, in conversation with the CSA board, we were worried about our water not paying for water, and we asked them to help us take a look at that. And they hired a consultant to look at ours along with several other water districts in the county, and put together a water rate assessment increase, Proposition 218, according to state guidelines for that. And if you don't know about that, that requires 50% plus 1 to fail. So there were not that many, and the soups gave us another couple of weeks to try to get those, and then yesterday, for the second reading, they had some concerns about the numbers. The numbers aren't clear, the numbers about how many actually, how many meters there actually are, and what would 50% plus 1 be. So their intention was to ask for clarification and to postpone the second reading for one more day, or one more week. And what happened was they ended up voting, not as they wanted to continue that for one more week, but to actually discontinue the motion. So that particular proposition died via the supervisors. So we're back into trying to figure out what goes next, what we will do, how to go forward, because water isn't paying for water. It's costing about $45,000 for some reason or another a year to pay for the production of water, and that the only pool of money for that is our taxes. So our taxes generally are used for the repairing of roads. $45,000 is just road money that we don't have. So that's where we're at. And we have a meeting tonight. We're hoping to meet with special districts to see what the next steps are going to be and how to move forward.
Thank you. Is there anything on Wolf Creek? Is that all the same? Okay.
Wolf Creek.
Okay, that took care of Wolf Creek.
The paid one.
All right, move right on to High Valley Road, traffic and road condition issues. Maria?
All right, well, the road traffic stuff has not changed any. I've stopped doing the tallies because we don't have anybody out there really overusing the road right now. The road work is looks like it's largely done. So PG&E came in and tore up the road, then badly patched it, and then sent their little Machado and Son crew in to slap some stuff over the top without actually repairing the crushed roads and, the cracks in it and stuff. So it's uneven. There are spots that should have been addressed that weren't. We're just waiting for it to fall apart when the rains hit, because we saw what was done and it wasn't, in our opinion, done well. So they've black coated the top of it and they've striped down the center. They gave us a partial little white line around Horseshoe Bend when we have no other white lines on the edges of the road, probably because the road is too narrow. So I sent an email or a request, a complaint to the roads department, asking them to have somebody drive High Valley Road and make note of the areas where the crews paved up onto the embankment and basically ruined the ditches. And I asked them to, what's the plan with the trenches and the ditches, because once the rains hit, there's going to be water flowing over the roads because they have corrupted those. They've left garbage in them from when they worked, and they've filled them in where they shouldn't have, so there's going to be problems. And I asked them to send somebody up to look at those areas because they do need to be addressed. So the whole trenching needs to be addressed. I also asked them to look up Cerrito Drive and Alta Vista Drive, because those roads, while they were badly patched, still have not been black-topped like they did to us, and there's still work that needs to be done, specifically also with the berms that were destroyed and the aprons to residents' properties. So I've asked the county to send somebody out to look at all those issues. Not sure when they will get to it, but that's what I have as far as High Valley Road and High Valley goes, and Cerrito and Alta Vista.
Thank you. Oh, I thought you had a question. Where's it going? Okay. Moving right along, item number 10, Next Grid Solar Array at Highway 20 and Highway 53. Holly, anything good on that one?
Oh, hi there. I didn't know this was on the agenda, so I didn't get all of the information that I need. But what I do know, I did try to get in touch with the community development planner who was not around. Anyway, Next Grid is proposing a solar array. So basically, if you look across the street here at the intersection of Highway 20 and 53, you know, the field that's there, where the guy was living in his 21-acre parcel. This would encompass 11,000 solar panels on 13 acres, plus battery storage. The county has accepted the pre-application, so obviously they're going ahead at looking at it. I did see that there was a notation that there are 2 acres of wetlands on the parcel, so it would need to be reviewed by the Army Corps of Engineer. One of the issues is this also scenic combining district, and typically you need to have 500-foot setbacks, but that seems to be being ignored at the moment. Anyway, I don't know how you all feel about 11,000 solar panels right here at the intersection. So, it goes into the grid. I don't know anything more about it, but basically when we dealt with when they tried to put in the geothermal power plant over at the Superfund site, they touted that it was going to take care of X amount of families, but in effect it just goes into the grid. So obviously the sum in California goes up, but there was no way that they could have it go here. I do not know if that's the same thing with the solar, but I will keep up on this and talk with them and get back and let you know what's going on.
Holly, thank you.
Excuse me?
Thank you.
Okay, for the way I understood it, I looked up Next Grid, and they appear to be, they're out of Boston or something. They appear to be like a power company, that what they do is they go around to, they look for vacant land that's close to, you know, power access, et cetera, or, you know, funneling into PG&E. They look for vacant land and then they lease it, you know, and this is a big thing that's going on right now. It's kind of like the corporate mobile home parks. You know, we have the corporate solar things and, you know, et cetera. So anyway, I'll let you know.
Thank you so much. Okay, Supervisor Crandall was next. He did call me, and he didn't think he could make it till 5 or maybe 5:15. So if anybody was looking to speak directly at him, it looks like our meeting's probably going to be over, but if you want to stick around, he was planning on showing up, he told me. So I can't promise, but that's what he said, okay? Any new business? And I did skip, I'm sorry, I need to announce. I did skip item number 11, Clear Lake Oaks Consolidated Light District. Mr. Burton has nothing to bring forward. Any new business? All right. Any announcements? Bring us something good, guys. Something good.
I think you can drive over our bridge in the back over to Chalk Mountain. It's completed, but I don't think they have the asphalt down, but the gravel and the handrails. And I looked today, there were cars crossing it, so they're still dismantling the one next to it. Keep in mind, this is a bridge for like 5 houses that are on the other side of it, so.
Good. That's good.
I know it's 6 million. I thought it was 1.2, but okay. I know it wound up being way more than they thought.
Well, maybe we should do a march across it for christening or something.
I like that.
Okay. All right. There you go. There you go.
Yeah, that one lasts a little longer.
So our next Earth meeting will be Wednesday, November 6th, 2024.
Denise?
Oh, yes, sorry.
We were going to talk about Klaus Park.
Yes, you're right. You even told me about that, Holly. Thank you. Under announcements.
Somehow, the John T. Klaus Park got removed from the agenda this month. But anyway, for those of you who are new, Mr. Klaus donated the property that's from the entrance to the Moose Lodge all the way over to the lava pits and up over the hill. Anyway, we had a meeting last month for the public, and basically, and it's still in the park design is still in the idea gathering stage. We do have a second upcoming public outreach meeting. This one's going to be online via Zoom for all of those that can't make it. It's scheduled for October 16th from 5 to 6 p.m. I do have a flyer there with QR code that you could take a photo of. I also posted it along with the evacuation area planning council thing at the bulletin board at the post office. So anyway, basically on the online Zoom, this is going to continue to collect ideas on the desired features and amenities for the park. Additionally, they have a short online survey available in English and Spanish. The link is on the flyer. This is a very simple questionnaire online designed to collect demographics and ask 3 simple questions. They want you to list up to 10 amenities features you would like to see included in the park and rank in order of importance. What Lars told us before is nothing is off the table. Please then also list up to 5 park features and amenities you would not like to see at the park, also important, and what recreational programs would you like to see included. And that's pretty much it at the moment. Lars, who's in charge of public services and the park, is currently scheduled to give an update on the Klaus Park at the next meeting in November.
Great. Thank you. Okay. Our next meeting will be November 6th, right here at 4 o'clock until 5:30. I would love to see it just as packed as it is today. It's always nice when we have community members that want and are interested and they want to come hear what's going on and listen to